Welcome to That's Inclusive, where we talk about disability and what it means to live a full life engaging in our communities. What does that look like, and how can we work together to make our world a more inclusive place?
Hello, and welcome to That's Inclusive podcast from the New Hampshire Council on Developmental Disabilities. My name is Chase Eagleson. I am the Policy and Planning Coordinator at the New Hampshire Council on Developmental Disabilities, and today we'll be focusing on adaptive sports. And with me to talk about adaptive sports, I have
Kelly Starr. I'm the Executive Director of Adaptive Sports Partners.
Awesome. And thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for having us. We're very excited.
All right, so I'll just start right off. For those unfamiliar with the topic, would you mind describing what adaptive sports is?
Sure. So adaptive sports broadly are sports, recreation, adventure activities that are catered to people of all kinds of disabilities. So sometimes that can be specialized equipment, that can look like specialized instruction, it can be a combination of the two. It's really just to create access for everyone to access sport and recreation. Adaptive Sports Partners in particular is a nonprofit organization, which a lot of adaptive sports organizations are nonprofits, and we operate to facilitate inclusion through sport and recreation and adventure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I for one, am a big fan of sports in general. I mean, I grew up playing sports. I think I played about 7 sports throughout middle and high school, including some of sports the kind of sports that your organization offers. And I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
I know everyone that plays it regularly loves it. And I just love the fact that we have organizations like yours that offer adaptive versions so everyone can actually play.
Yeah.
It's no fun when people get left out. That's always the sad part.
Yeah, I agree. And there's just a lot of joy and a lot of benefits that come from adaptive sports. And everyone should be able to get outside and enjoying that.
It's a great community feeling, and it's really, it seems so beneficial just to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're just watching it.
Yep.
But the opportunity to actually step in and play and throw the ball or whatever you're going to do is just so important to that whole aspect.
Yeah, exactly. And you can really participate at whatever level works for you. So if you want to just be part of the community and do some recreation, that's great. If you want to compete, there's that space too. And if you want to do somewhere in between, you can really find your community and your niche, kind of doing it all.
That's fantastic. All right, so tell me a little bit, you being the executive director, I mean, you've been through this a lot. But tell me a little bit what drew you to not just work with the disability community, but with particularly adaptive sports.
Yeah, so my background is in special education. And so I was a teacher, and I was in the classroom, loved my kids, loved being with them every day. But I noticed that really the goals that were set up in a classroom and education system just didn't cater to them. They were lacking the opportunity to recreate, lacking the opportunity to be a part of sports community, and really to be a part of the community in their school system and then outside their school system. And while I loved it, I loved making relationships with my students and empowering them, I knew that I wanted them to be able to find the joys that I found and the passions that I found with recreation and sport. And so that led me to experience adaptive sports. I was intern for a variety of organizations and really was like, this brings meaning to people's lives, and this is empowering. And this is what brings joy. This is what helps people, get outside and recreate and play and build community. It's very empowering, and I think it's really important. So that's kind of was my trajectory. I was working really directly with people with disabilities in the education system, and then I thought there was a lack of programs to support outside of the school system.
That's definitely true. I mean, you see all these sports offered and clubs offered in high school, middle school, even college, but I mean, historically, most of them have never even been close to inclusive. I mean, adaptive was out of the question for ever.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Yep.
I mean, other than wheelchair basketball, which even then that's more segregative sports than it is adaptive, than it is inclusive. It's giving someone else something instead of joining together and make a community sport, which is what sports is supposed to be.
Right.
It's supposed to be community building.
Yep. Exactly.
That actually leads me into the next question. So why is it so important in your eyes for sports to be adaptive?
Yeah. So I would say in the grand, plan of my dreams, adaptive sports wouldn't even exist in terms of like specialized organizations, right? Like adaptive sports partners, if we're doing our job right, we're working ourselves out of a job because traditional sports settings automatically are inclusive of all. So they don't need us to help make them inclusive because they're designed for everyone. But as we know, that's not the case in
Yes.
current standards. And that's okay. And so that's why we exist. And that's why adaptive sports programs exist. And so the importance of them really is to kind of exactly what we've been talking about. We create a space where people can build community. They can build their skills. They can be empowered through sport, recreation, and adventure. And so that can look like anything. It can be they're joining their school's basketball team with support. They're taking swim lessons so that they're safe. They're shredding it on the ski slope because that brings them a lot of joy and freedom. It can be they're using equipment or they have specialized instruction. Really, that's where we come in. And so where a traditional setting doesn't work, we're trying to eliminate people with disabilities experiencing the I don't belong here, or you're not welcome here, or try on a different team because this isn't the place for you. We're trying to really eliminate that and ensure that everyone has access.
That's fantastic. I mean, belonging is a essential part of life. I mean, I believe that's one of the bottom parts of Maslow's hierarchy.
Yeah, right.
If you don't feel like you belong, if you don't have the ability to, or if you don't think that you're part of the community that you are supposed to be a part of, it's seemingly impossible to join into it.
Yep.
And I think, one of the reasons I wanted to do this episode is because I love sports in general, but adaptive sports brings easier idea into community.
Yep.
For many who have been for years and years socially isolated, especially when it comes to recreational activities.
Yep. And even historically, like that's where it sets in terms of like you guys go here and everyone else can go there. And so I think adaptive sports really helps kind of mold the progressive thinking of we all belong everywhere and we're going to establish that.
There's no segregated spaces and there never should be.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we've had them.
Yes.
And I think attacking it from the recreation angle is a very interesting one because we have other organizations like White Park or some other adaptive trails. And for a while, they were kind of working in the background because, again, people didn't think that individuals with disabilities deserve to be in those spaces where, as obviously we both know, there's no really deserving. We all are in those spaces because we're all here.
Right.
And I just want to say again, it's fantastic seeing the kind of opportunities you offer, especially, coming into the season, it's winter. And this is New England.
Yep.
And we're known for hockey. We're known for figure skating. Not really figure skating, but mostly hockey. And skiing, snowboarding. And I actually noticed some adaptive skiing on your website. I was wondering if you'd talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you bring up a good point of our region where we're at and our communities where we operate out of. We're in the Franconia area. We're in the Northeast Kingdom of Vermont, the North Country of New Hampshire. Two recreation meccas. They feed off of recreation. Everyone around you is recreating and enjoying these beautiful spots that we have, waterways and trails and skiing. And so, it's kind of in our culture of our communities. And so kind of having that imagine like that you don't fit into that, where do you? And so hopefully we are eliminating those questions for people. But so adaptive skiing, we're entering that season. We are doing all of our snow dances. We operate out of Cannon Mountain, Burke Mountain, and Jay Peak, and it is amazing. So we have tons of equipment. We have things called bi-skis, which are SIP skis that have 2 skis on the bottom. We have mono skis, which is a sit ski with 1 ski on the bottom. We have a tetra ski, which is a joystick-operated ski, as well as a sip and puff ski for high-level injury or disability. And we also have tons of stand-up techniques to support whether that's people with autism, developmental disabilities, Down syndrome, whatever it looks like. Whatever your disability is, we have a piece of equipment to get you out on the mountain and skiing and enjoying that.
I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, and as someone from New England who regularly skis, who has his own skis, who tries to do it every year that we have snow. At this point, it's not looking where I haven't much snow this year. I think it's a huge part of the community around here. I mean, New England, we're known for snow. We're known for being a bit frigid up here during the winter. And if you're not part of that culture, it's hard to feel like you're part of the New England community.
Yeah, and it takes a toll on your mental health too.
It does, yeah. I mean, especially since we're in such a rampant mental health crisis. It doesn't help when people are taken or not allowed in to the very popular sports, the very popular pieces of the community that we have in New England that are so well known. I mean, our trail hiking is very well known, and that's become more adapted over the years, which is amazing. You're talking about skiing and snowboarding. I actually have watched some videos on the seat with the two skis.
Yep, the bike ski, yeah.
I'm kind of jealous. That looks so entertaining. I really want to try one.
You are always welcome to come try it out.
They're like, I've seen them up at like Pat's Peak.
Sure.
At some of those mountains.
Yeah.
It just always looks so cool.
Yeah, it's a great way to shred.
Yeah.
There's no doubt. Yeah, it's very fun.
I guess there is really no wrong way to.
No. Go out and enjoy that snow, enjoy the mountains, and build your community like we've talked about. You're doing it right.
You mentioned that you work with what you said was JP Cannon and
Burke Mountain. Yeah.
So do you have like things you work out with those organizations? Like they help you guys get in there and.
Exactly. So they're our partners, and all of our partners are amazing. We also we're partners with North Country Climbing Gym, Evergreen for swimming, Powers Park for swimming, different hiking venues, golf courses, Sunset Hill Golf Course. And so we have all of these partners that really, as a nonprofit, are kind of critical to our success. And these partners have essentially committed to being inclusive and to being ensuring that everyone can access their spaces. And they've done that by committing to partnering with us. And so by partnering with Adaptive Sports Partners, they're saying, you guys are the experts. You are going to have the equipment and the training and the knowledge to ensure that everyone can access what we have to offer here. And they've been awesome. It's really important to have them, and partners is in our name, and it's something we're very appreciative of, and just love their commitment to inclusion.
It's really nice to hear that. I mean, I grew up in New Hampshire. I've been here for 24 years, and a lot of those names I know by heart at this point. And it's nice to see that over the years coming together as a community, trying to actually make sure that, again, everyone is included in every space, because if you're not including them, you're excluding them.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
If they're not there, you're trying not to let them be there.
Yep.
And I mean, some of these organizations, like you said, Canon, and some of the other ones you mentioned, it's nice to see that these big names are actually putting themselves out there and making sure that everyone has the opportunity to, again, use their spaces, to be part of the community, and to, just enjoy their days.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It is. And speaking of like being part of the community, what are some of the benefits that you found being as the executive director of Adaptive Sports when it comes to both the disability community and the communities in general?
Great question. There's so many for both, and I appreciate that you asked like the benefits to the community too, right? And so, one, I'll start with that. The benefits of the community. We're in spaces. We're creating just the acceptance amongst people with disabilities. So, let's say you're at the ski mountain and you may not have experienced people with disabilities outside of being at Cannon Mountain or Jay or Burke, and you're seeing us out there skiing and shredding and doing exactly what everyone else is doing, and it really just kind of normalizes, levels the playing field, just kind of like, oh, we're all doing this. Same thing at the climbing gym, same thing swimming. We're all in the community. We're all exercising. We're all recreating. Everyone can do it. That makes sense. Mountain biking, whatever it is, you see us out on the trails, and it just really, it kind of humanizes everyone, right? We're all doing the same thing regardless of disability. And I think that's important for our community. I think that is just, again, kind of going back to like not having any separation, and everyone's just together doing what we all love. And then when it comes to people with disabilities, I mean, the same benefits we all have with recreation. There is positive mental health. There's physical fitness. There is community. There's social improvements. And all of those are even more important for people with disabilities because of the additional challenges that come from having a disability. So you might already be behind the game in terms of, being able to access exercise or being able to get out and just go for a run on your own or go for a bike ride on your own because you may not have the equipment. Whereas we're kind of trying to eliminate that and to really work on being a place where you can experience those benefits. Because there's so many about outside and movement and getting through winters positively and having that social community. It's huge.
It is. It's a massive part of what we're all trying to do, which is push inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know, for years, social isolation has been a plague on the disability community.
Yep.
And I wanted to kind of focus on one of the things you said was you don't know until you know, and a lot of people just haven't experienced getting to meet and getting to know someone that has a disability.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people just live in kind of social bubbles in a way where you only know the things that you know and everything else is a bit like foreign to you.
Yep.
And I think organizations like yours, like Adaptive Sports and many other organizations throughout the state that we're very lucky to have done a great job in making sure that everyone is in every space. Because without that, ignorance just prevails.
Yep. And, kind of with that, you meet some people might be like, oh, I know that one person with this disability or one person with that disability. That's one person with one disability. And as we know, disabilities look so different on a bunch of different people, even if it's the same disability or different ages or different genders or, whatever. It all looks very different. And so I just think it's important to show different types of disabilities that are out there, what your bodies can do, what your minds can do. And you meet one person with a disability, you meet one person with a disability. That's that.
As you said, it normalizes everything. Because, again, a lot of it doesn't seem normal at times to people, but then you meet individual with disabilities, you're like, oh, as the ADA says, disability is a normal part of the human experience.
Yep. It's
just another thing in life. We're all different from each other.
Yep.
No one's the exact same, even twins.
Yep. Right.
And I think it's extremely important for individual disabilities to be able to be there so people can experience. Because without experience, you don't really know what it's like.
Yep.
We've kind of talked about some more serious stuff, so I want to get into something more fun. So I just wanted to have you talk a little bit about the programs that Adaptive Sports Partners offers.
Sure.
And just kind of maybe focus on some of your favorite that you've seen.
Oh, yeah. Well, skiing's definitely my favorite. We've talked a lot about that one, but there is no doubt that it is my favorite program. Anyone will tell you that. I just love people that are skiing with their school groups and skiing with their families and skiing with their partners and skiing with us. And just, I think skiing is such a community and such a vibe and is wonderful. So, and our partnerships with our ski resorts are also just so great that it's so nice to see that. I also really like swimming is a great one. Adaptive swimming is incredible. And it not only is like a safety thing in terms of learning how to swim, but it's also just a relaxing place and it's an exercise and it's just really great for the mind. And so swimming's amazing. We have adaptive biking and kayaking in the spring and summer and fall, and fall kayaking is just gorgeous.
Yes.
Mountain biking with the leaves changing, amazing. And again, we have a Learn to Bike program. That program is just wonderful, teaching all ages how to bike via balance bikes. And so you typically think of balance bikes as for toddlers, but these are for all people who are interested in being on a two-wheel bike. We can support learning how to find your balance and bike with pedals. And so I also like just like the programs that are not traditional adaptive sports as you would think with like heavy equipment. There's some that are just people learning how to ride a bike, and it's amazing.
That is amazing. I mean, a lot of those things are just so important life tools. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone, well, not everyone, but most people need to know how to ride a bike because a lot of people just like riding bikes,
Yeah.
especially around here where you go around in the fall where it's beautiful and just bike around. Look how nice it is around here. And I mean, things like swimming. I mean, swimming is extremely important for this area. I believe, trying to remember a stat, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
It's okay.
Lots
Lots of waterways. Lots of
lot of water
reservoirs, ponds, lakes.
here. A lot of places to go. You go up the
Yep.
Kangamangas.
Yeah.
I mean, you go over to Vermont, go to Quechee.
Yeah.
There's Winnisquam.
Yep.
There's so many different places to swim around here, and being able to be part of that experience is just kind of being able to understand what it is to be a New Englander.
Yeah.
It's kind
In
of just what we
nature.
do.
Yep, exactly.
It's pretty much all we do. All right, so that was actually the last question I had for you.
Awesome.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap it up?
No, that's good.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, well, thank you for listening. This has been That's Inclusive. If you'd like to reach out to Adaptive Sports, do you have a phone number?
Yeah. So you can always call me, 802-307-2940, or shoot me an email. It's Kelly, Kelly, at adaptivesportspartners.org. And I'm happy to talk to everyone. So reach out.
Reach out, guys. All right. Thank you for listening, and thank you for coming, Kelly.
Thank you so much for having me. It's great.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Vanessa Blaze, and this was a production of the New Hampshire Council on Developmental Disabilities, produced by Isadora Rodriguez-Legendre and Vanessa Blaze, with many thanks to Josh Hardy and the rest of the crew here at Concord TV. We love to have guests with differing perspectives. These views are personal and do not necessarily represent those of the DD Council.